Reading is the most important hobby ever. Sure, it improves your vocabulary. Sure, you can learn things, read stories, but most importantly, reading shapes your mind. I know what you're thinking. Reading is boring. It's also hard. But guess what? You're not reading the right books. I'm going to tell you my top 16 books that helped change my life and my mind. I'm nowhere near perfect in any of these. I only probably remember 0.01% of most of these books, but that 0.01% has helped me try to focus on a growth mindset and always improving. Here are my 16 books that helped change my life. Side note, this does not include the Bible and the multitude of books within it because, well, I have not read it from front to back. I probably should start doing that. My first book is none other than Extreme Ownership. You need to take ownership of your life. You are not a victim, whether you're a boss or an employee. Take ownership of what you have to do, what you have to get done. Jocko and Leif Babin highlight 4 simple rules in this book. Prioritize and execute, decentralize command, simplify, cover and move. That's all you need to know to be a great leader and take ownership of your life. Next up, hands down, one of my favorites, Grit by Angela Duckworth. Duckworth defines grit as passion and perseverance for long-term goals. And if you make a goal, such as getting through all 16 of these books, you probably have grit. According to Duckworth studies, grit is a better indicator of success than talent, intelligence, or any other factor. If you really want something, go get it. But understand you have to work really hard over a long period of time in order to find success in most things. You also need deliberate practice, purpose to remember your why, and hope along the way. I don't really know what that is. I don't know how you use that thing, but I think it makes noises. Anyway, the third book is The Dip, a little book that teaches you when to quit and when to stick. This book is all about, well, the dip. When things get hard in something that you're trying to do or get good at. Sometimes there's no reward after the dip. Things plateau. Sometimes, if you make it through the challenging part, if you make it through the dip, your rewards are multiplied. This book is all about, should you quit or should you stick? Godin says there's a lot of points every day where we want to quit something. And so it's important to be able to decipher, should we quit or should we stick? The short answer, you only have so much time. So if you're doing things that you absolutely hate or surrounded by people you can't stand, you probably should quit. But if you're doing things that light a fire in you and that you love, keep with it. Don't quit and make it through the dip. This is a great read. Just be careful, because quitting is not a good habit. So get good at deciding when to stick and when to quit. Next up, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic meaning an extremely small amount of a thing, the single irreducible unit of a larger system, or the source of immense energy and power. Habit meaning a routine or practice performed regularly, an automatic response to a specific situation. But Atomic Habits is not just about habits, but also your identity. Not just to create a habit of running, but to become a runner. Not just to create a habit of reading books, but to become a reader. Not just to say, no thanks, I'm trying to quit smoking, but to say, no thanks, I'm not a smoker. Once you change your identity, it's so much easier to change your habits, to change what you do. For me, when I identify as a hybrid athlete or as a YouTuber, I think, no, I can't skip this workout. No, I can't miss making a video. This is what I do. This is who I am. Identity is so important. Atomic Habits, a great read. The next book is a great one, Deep Work by Cal Newport. Cal details the importance of being able to focus over long periods of time on a cognitively demanding task and how it is becoming an increasingly rare but valuable skill in today's economy. He provides strategies to cultivate the skill of deep work and achieve exceptional productivity in your career. This book really reminds me of the quote by Denzel Washington, where he says, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. This is a great read. Anyone that is involved in cognitively demanding tasks and wants to achieve extreme productivity and career success. Hey! Oh! It's me again. Oh, this slide is wet. Okay. Next up, The Heart of a Champion by Bob Richards. Guess what? This book, with a foreword by Dan Gable, where I first heard of it in a video and ordered it, is about Bob Richards characterizing what it takes to be a champion in life. Bob uses stories from his own Olympic career and those of others to illustrate the importance of faith, focus, and relentless effort in becoming a true champion. I'm very glad I ordered this book several years ago, as it has helped shape my own coaching philosophy. Thank you, Dan Gable. Next up is Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. Why he always has a C on his books, I'll never know. But Failing Forward is about failing, falling, and moving forward, and facing rejection, because rejection and failure is a necessity for success, not something to avoid. The moral of the story, don't run from failure, embrace it, use it to learn from, and to achieve success, and then get back up. Like Failing Forward, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday is about how adversity is not creating roadblocks in our lives, but rather opportunities for growth and achievement. By changing our perspective, being disciplined, and developing grit and resilience, we can turn adversity into success. This book is founded on the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which is a compilation of Marcus Aurelius's daily journals a few thousand years ago, which is crazy to think because back then this great Roman emperor had the same human feelings that we do every day, like how getting out of bed can be a challenge. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Number 9 is Chosen Suffering by Tom Ryan. Tom Ryan is the Ohio State University wrestling head coach, and throughout his life, like many of us, like all of us, he has gone through periods of chosen suffering and periods of unchosen suffering. Tom shares his story and perspective as he helps the reader win at life through these two types of suffering: chosen and unchosen. At number 10, and written in 1903 by James Allen, is As a Man Thinketh. This is basically just a pamphlet in right thinking. How we think matters superbly. So important how we think. Our mind is like a garden. Are we going to cultivate it for good thoughts, to produce flowers, or are we going to let weeds take its place? Either way, something's going to grow, weeds or flowers. What do we want it to be? As a man thinketh, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remains. How you think matters. Control your thinking. Think the right way so that in your mind you have flowers and not weeds. Next up on the list is Do Hard Things. Whew. I'm not out of breath enough. Next up on the list is Do Hard Things. Whew. Do Hard Things challenges the traditional idea of toughness by focusing on self-talk, self-awareness, emotional regulation, rather than just powering through or just getting tougher. While I often use that kind of self-talk, like stop being soft or, be tougher, I also use things like, hey, you can do it. Just make it to the next kayak, like in my half Ironman. Self-talk is super important, just as the other strategies that Steve Magnus provides in this book. Oh man, I'm out of breath. Stop being soft. At the very least, do not settle for a life of comfort and challenge yourself and do hard things. That's what I learned from this book. Next we have the book Build by Tony Fadell, which is a book about creating things worth making. Tony was a part of the team that helped create the iPod and something called Nest, which is like home appliance stuff. He offers valuable insights on things like leadership, innovation, and decision making for making successful products. For anyone trying to undertake building a successful product as an entrepreneur, or any kind of successful product, even not as an entrepreneur, this is a great book. Just remember, you will fail along the way. I mentioned his successes, but he had other failures. So don't forget to fail forward and build something awesome like this igloo. Lucky number 13 is The Compound Effect, which highlights the importance of doing something continuously over time, just like grit, really. Specifically, consistent choices and habits over time lead to compounded results. Hardy emphasizes the importance of, if you want to improve at something, you have to measure it and you have to track it. Because if you don't, how are you going to know if you improve it? He highlights how consistent actions build momentum over time, leading to compounded results. Next one is Outliers. Be an outlier. Malcolm Gladwell explores the hidden factors that attribute to tremendous success. Talent alone is not enough. Gladwell highlights how opportunity, deliberate practice, timing, and culture play a huge role in the success of high achievers. From the book, biologists often talk about the ecology of an organism. The tallest oak in the forest is the tallest not just because it grew from the hardiest acorn. It is the tallest also because no other trees blocked its sunlight, no rabbit chewed through its bark as a sapling, and no lumberjack cut it down before it matured. There's so many factors that go into high achievers, and this book explains them all. Y'all see this? That's $1. In the psychology of money, Book number 15 talks about finances and how I can make that dollar worth so much more over time. But this book is even more about psychology than it is money. So much more about psychology than it is money. Housel explores how emotions, behavior, and personal experiences affect how people think, feel, and behave with their money. He emphasizes that financial success is more about habits, like patience, humility, and long-term thinking, than it is about knowledge about money or stocks or any of that crap. Build good habits, like Atomic Habits, related to your money, and guess what? You won't have to worry about money. One key factor is time. And last but not least, Greenlights, written by my boy, Matty McConaughey. This is a book about his own personal experiences and how he navigates his own life by looking at life experiences like traffic lights, red, green, and blue. What? I'm an idiot. Red, green, yellow. It's a memoir filled with personal stories, poems, anecdotes that I have really taken to heart because I like a lot of the messages that he sends in his philosophy, and a lot of his philosophy shines through in this book. Keep your eyes out for Greenlights, the book that is your own life. So that's it. These are the 16 books that have shaped the way I think, and I hope continue to shape how I think for the better. I hope maybe one of these books helps you, but for me, it's getting dark right now, so I better get going. While I often fail at the implementation of these books, I think the important thing is to fail forward using our everyday atomic habits while looking for the green lights in life and having the heart of a champion, while taking ownership of your mistakes. And over time, hopefully, grit and the compound effect will play in your favor. I hope these books continue to help me improve, get better, fail forward. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to. And as always, stay gritty, Detroit. Ow!